This fast martial arts weapons lesson, we're working the Japanese bow or your other martial arts long staff. Grab your long staff, follow me. You're just gonna warm up the wrist first, the forearm with a simple turn. I want you to turn all the way in each direction. We're gonna do each hand for 30 seconds. This is one of the best martial arts weapons for street fight self-defense because of the length that you can create distance between you and your opponent or the attacker. Just gonna warm up here, just twisting one way to the other. After about 30 seconds, put it in that other hand and do the same thing. You're gonna start slow at first, gradually increasing your speed. And as you increase that speed, you're gonna get more twist in your wrist, building more power here, more flexibility. Then you're gonna go from one hand into the other hand. The bag's swinging behind me because I was just hitting it with this. I've been wondering, is this kind of a strike, which is very hard and fast, as powerful as this kind? I've done them all for years and years, and I knew what the answer was, or I had an idea what it was. It's this one, by the way, this alternating grip. When you hit this bag back here, missed it, hit it. That's pretty hard. This basic punching this way, but when you change this hand grip to here, and the reason that I'm doing it hard with this staff is because this staff can take it. This is a hard wood. It's white oak. You can see actually, this is the word bujin, martial arts design. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's 3 pieces of wood, and what they do is to make them straight, and then they glue it together, pressure treat it. This is a very hard staff, but from this position, coming down, it's a very hard strike. Pushing this way, I can hit a lot harder than I can when I'm in this position. That doesn't mean one is better than the other, but it's important to know which one's gonna give you more strength. I like to test everything as much as I can. You probably want to do the same thing. Testing is always good. Don't ever take anybody's word for it. You know, you get started, you learn from other people, learn from me, but don't take my word for it. Grab your staff and figure some things out on your own. It's like learning how to play a musical instrument. You learn other people's music first, and then you get really good at scales and notes, and then you start to make your own music. That's when you truly grow. Come up with your own ideas. Test them out. All right, so once you've done this from side to side, 30 seconds, you're now gonna go into your overhand spin. Awesome, love it. Some weird line on the top of the camera here. Try to get below it. But you're just going from here, turns up, this hand's here, turns all the way over, the palm's here. It's an overhand butterfly spin. Do that for 30 seconds. Bring that to a stop and go back here. Yeah, you do the basics. Basics, I do all the time. You do the basics first. Basics is part of the warm-up. You win a fight with basics, by the way. Think about it. You know, I've been thinking about what's going on lately and what's best for street fight self-defense. Not just martial arts and what looks good and what's fun on the movies, but like what really works, right? And it's that straight strikes, straight punches, get out of the way. Throw 2 punches, move to the side, and you know, moving basic footwork, coming in and out. All the cool fancy stuff that we do later, that's more fun. That'll help you grow in your athleticism, your artistry, the martial arts part of it. But for basic street fight self-defense, guard, a couple good punches, get out of the way. I'm not sure. Everybody calls things differently. 8 zones. That sounds like maybe that comes from a certain style. Thank you. Yeah, for me, it's all basics. If I could be a beginner for the rest of my life, I'd take it. Beginner's mind. That's everything to me. So you're turning this way, then that 30 seconds each side, throw it to the left hand and go into your figure 8 around your body. And And all this is, if you take your thumb, you carve a sideways figure eight or an infinity sign. You're pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. That's that spin. Scoot side to side. Then bring your foot up under your body, put it to the side. Do the same spin to the front and to the back. Same figure eight, 30 seconds here. Put it into the right hand, right foot forward. Start in this position, slow, first, gradually increasing your speed. Stomach up and in, abs tight. Pull everything tight. You'll get more speed when you're tight in your core. And then go feet under your body and to the side. Same spin, different plane or different zone. Maybe is that what the zones are? Send me an email, info@quantumstrong, all one word, quantumstrong.com. Some information on the 8 zones. I'm always looking to learn from you too. That's what makes this virtual dojo so valuable and effective. And for those of you, a couple of you have you asked me about the Patreon. I put the link below. Some of you have joined already. Man, I really appreciate that. That helps me keep making these. But also, that's where we can communicate, share, and learn from each other. I learn from you as much as you learn from me. Every time I teach, I'm teaching myself something new too. All right, 30 seconds there. Now, put it back in your first hand, your left hand, and I want you to come over to the right side where you're gonna take your right hand, pinky to pinky, palms up, and turn it back into the other hand. So now you're going side to side. This is my right hand. I want to slow it down just a little bit in case you didn't get it yet. Pinky to pinky, pinky to pinky, palms up. And start to step forward a little and step back. Move forward, move back. I'll just show you from the side. You're just going like this. Keep your chin up. Move a little faster and faster. Turn your shoulders more, stomach tight, so that you can start to push yourself. I want you to break a sweat, but I also want you to get fast, fighting. Back to the basics of self-defense, street fight self-defense. A couple basic punches, get out of the way, right? Guard yourself. Fight as fast as you can. So many people move slowly when they fight, right? You have to, as hard as you can, as hard as you fast, full commitment for self-defense, street fight self-defense. So as you're going from hand to hand forward and stepping backward, just speed up your feet a little bit and you're gonna drop it. When you drop it, pick it up. That can't be any more simple, right? I drop it all the time. You just don't always see it. Good to see you, Victor. We're just going forward and back. Then go back to that first hand and go into a reverse pulling figure eight. Stomach tight, chin back, increase your speed. Go faster, 30 seconds in the front of your body, and then feet under your body, 30 seconds, front and back. Speeding up when you can, into the other hand, pulling. Remember before on that sideways figure eight, I said push, push. This is pulling. So you're pulling with the small side of the hand, stomach tight, increase your speed when you can. Bring your foot up under your body so that your feet are just in line with each other, and then go to the front and the back. See if that makes it a little bit more clear. And notice that my hand stays closed. Yeah, we're doing first 2 levels, white belt, yellow belt. So this is white belt, but we use, everything builds onto the next level. So even though you get that yellow belt, you start to wear that while you're spinning this, you still want to do this, 30 seconds, so that you build each skill. And instead, you know, like I've seen a lot of more aesthetic styles, like Kung Fu styles, where you go to class and on Monday they're doing whatever, and then you don't do it again for 6 weeks. By the time they come back and they show you, because they do something different the next time, you've lost it, you forgot it. But if you do the same thing over and over again, the basics, and you build, it's like foundation, right? It's wider, gets deeper, and then you can go as tall as you can. And so, but we just spend 20, 30 seconds per move. So we've done that. Then go into the hand-to-hand. And now, since I'm going into this reverse pulling spin, on the same side of the body, that's my left hand on the left side, my right hand takes it in front of the hand, still pinky-to-pinky, palms up. When it's on my right, I take it. And then just like before, start walking forward, walking back. I'll show you again from the side. Your chin's up, look where you're going, bringing it back. Small, quick steps. Always small, quick steps. The longer your step, the lower your center of gravity goes. When your center of gravity goes down, you have to pull it back up. So if you want to move fast forward or back fast, let's say you have to get out of the way, right? Get out of the way, but then come back in to counter strike, and you go wide stance, you just drop your center of gravity. You're gonna have to bring it back up to go forward or bring it back up to go back. That's 2 counts, 2 beats. Thinking about music again, right? 1, 2, up, forward, up, back. They're gonna hit you on the first beat. You need to be able to move quickly. And so you can't let your center of gravity ever go low, not when you're fighting. Now for the sake of forms, you can be low, but if you go low, you stay low. You stay low. And you do that by, and I know you can't see them, but you keep your knees bent. But your center of gravity is always moving forward, moving back, side to side. Never like this. And that's a real common, and I don't want to say mistake, because if you don't know, it's not a mistake. That's a real common thing that you do when you're beginning, is that when you're coming up, down, up, down. And so when you're fighting, that's one of the worst things you can do. Even when you bounce, you want to be able to bounce front and back, side to side, switching feet, but never up and down, up and down, up and down. It just takes too much time, takes too much energy, and they hit you while you're trying to get out of the way. You want to hit them first. That's the rule, right? So when you're stepping forward, you're doing the forward spin, hand to hand, small steps. When you reverse it, hand to hand, moving forward and back, small steps, very small. Now what I want you to do is take that forward spin, I'm just showing you from the side, and turn around into the reverse spin. And turn around, forward, and every time you turn, your spin is going to be the opposite direction, simply because you turn. And then start a few fast steps forward, turn fast, couple steps, and then you start moving the staff around your body so you can work on your flow, your bow staff flow. So fighting fast, we're learning how to fight fast. You see me get out of the way? You'll learn how to do that too. It's instinctive, right? All right, now level 2, or I should say yellow belt level, wrist roll to a wrist roll. So my left hand, pinky side is up. I open the hand on the turn. See how it balances? I'm just gonna hold this here to keep it from falling. Gently turn, grab it, and then go the other way. Thumb side, balance it, turn. Go the other way. And as it's turning, it's getting some kinetic energy, some momentum. So that momentum, I bring to a stop. Push it back the other way. By bringing it to a stop, you're starting to get stronger in the muscle, but also in the tendons, even the bones. Everything's getting stronger for self-defense, for defending yourself. Stronger means faster on the spin. Yeah, I've seen it. To me, that's the most fun thing, is when a student is so frustrated, and I can see it, right? And they're frustrated, and I jabber, talk, trying to get them undistracted, out of their head. Get out of your head, right? Get out of your head and bring your focus from here. Oh, I'm so stupid. I dropped, I'm never gonna get it, to here. This is where the action is, right here. So you bring your focus here. That's self-defense, by the way. Focus on responding to what's happening now. Most people do the opposite. They walk like this. They don't see what's happening now. All they can do is imagine the worst. And then when it does happen, because your thoughts bring things into reality, then they panic. Or they do even worse, they just Yeah, I'll bet. They just, they quit. They never go out. They stop going out. But bring your focus forward into your hand. Start to speed it up. Almost lost it. That's good. You want to lose it. You want to go so fast. And Vic, this is true for you too, right? You've learned this. The faster you go, the greater chance you're going to have of dropping it again, of hitting yourself again like that, which is what you want because that gets you out of your comfort zone and gets you present in this moment. Then the other hand. Good. Yeah, and that'll increase your focus too. You'll get your focus here instead of back in here. Yeah, that happens. I grew up painting and patching walls, so I always look at it as an opportunity to get the mud out, what do they call this stuff? The plaster, patch, and my mud knives, and I make it look nice and neat, and I always have that touch-up paint. No one knows half the time. I don't leave holes in the wall, but I put them there. So you're on the other hand, 30 seconds here, going faster and faster, and then go from one hand into the other hand, pushing and pushing, building power in the forearms, dexterity, flexibility. This also brings flexibility into your head. You get neuroplasticity. So when you're older, you can sit on your bum and do Sudoku and the New York Times crossword puzzle and bore yourself to death and lie to yourself and tell you that you're keeping your brain young. That was 1954. In 2020, you're 71, 72, 85, get a staff, learn how to do this, and now your body's becoming healthier, and you're also getting new neural pathways in the brain, new stem cells. Nice. Good for you. You know, and I don't want to be, this isn't political. Hello. It's a personal choice unless they make it a law. And if it's some guy's store and he says, this is my store, I own it. Got to wear a mask. That's fine, that's your rule. I don't have to shop there. But his fear can't trump my freedom. Not in this country anyway. There's a lot of fear going on everywhere, right? But yeah, but that doesn't mean I want to intentionally go out and try to start something. I'll respect that. If I know that's not comfortable for you, I don't have to go there, right? But don't yell, 6 feet! I've seen that too. Has that happened to anybody? You go somewhere and I'm the most impatient person in the world, I gotta be honest. I have a lot of patience for some things, like massive amounts of patience for certain things. But when I have to get, like I only have a few minutes, I gotta get some groceries, get back to the house, my kids are waiting, right? And we have to do something else, I'm gonna get back in the pool, and then the person, they're looking at every package of bacon. I want some bacon for Sunday morning breakfast. And they're looking at every single package of bacon. Why? Who knows? But they're standing there with their mask. Oh, funny thing, speaking about the mask, this is the same situation. This lady, and I'm getting more and more impatient. The lady that yelled 6 feet at me, she was taking her time, picking out the bacon. And it's all the same. I only get one kind of bacon. It's gotta be uncured, it's the healthiest, blah, 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 whatever. I only eat once a week. I only get 2 pieces. I want my bacon. And I'm standing there and the lady's taking forever. And I'm impatient when it comes to the grocery store anyway, because I don't like doing shopping. And anyway, she's standing there. And they keep announcing another thing. We're all in this together. Please respect social distancing. And I'm thinking, we're not all in this together. We might all be affected, but it's different ways. Anyway, back to the bacon. So the woman, I'm standing there. I finally just reach over to grab my bacon because I'm thinking, you know, I don't have all day to wait for the bacon. And she yells, 6 feet! And I kind of giggled and laughed, and I said, okay. I put my thing in the cart. Then she pulls her mask down because she pulled off a plastic bag to put her bacon in, and she licks her fingers and sticks her bacon in the bag. And I'm thinking, she's gonna go around the whole store with those licked fingers, touching everything, and her stupid mask on. I'm sure she wasn't thinking about it that way, but I was. My point is this. There's no point. It's just funny. What's going on right now is funny to me. It's asinine and absurd, but mostly funny. All right. Yeah, but you know, we all do dumb things. I do the most. This way, basic first level strikes, punching. Oh, well, I don't like that. That's not good. So punching here, as long as nobody's getting hurt, you know, I don't want you to get beat on. Punch hard, and then to the knee. This is the basic level strikes. And then change this hand, palm up. Second level strikes, coming down at this angle, right? And I can hit on the clavicle. And I was showing you before you came, some of you came, these are really hard strikes, this basic level. But I've been finding, because I keep testing it on different surfaces, this is Chinese style. This is more of that Japanese style. This is harder, way harder, especially with this stick from here. So think about, what are your targets? Temple, clavicle, arm, the hand that's carrying the knife or the baseball bat, striking there to the knee or the thigh or to the ankle. Take their foot out from under them. And then the second strike, coming across that backhand punch. So down and then through. 1, 2. But see how I'm practicing, and I want you to practice this way too. Practice this way, going through a good range of motion, no more than 30 seconds. But then add 30 seconds, hard and fast, full commitment, as hard as you can. So if you need it, you've got so much power. Yeah, so much more power. Everything is leverage, right? This is nice and strong. This, it's just a better hand position. It makes more sense. This, way more strong. Next strike, back to here. From here, pushing. Pull and strike. Pull and strike. Pull and strike. And that's all that is. Pushing and pushing. One, just like that. Back to here. Striking this way. Striking down this way. This reminds me of almost like a bayonet and a rifle. Yeah, I just haven't shown you. This is somewhere between this level and the next level, but they're all about the same, right? Yeah, ski, T-S-U-K-I, meaning spear. Think of spearing instead of poking. Because you're gonna go through somebody, especially here, right into the midsection. Think about targets, the face, the throat, the solar plexus, the groin, same thing, just a different side. 1, 2. But you also, especially with this weapon, have this motion. From here, pushing in this way. From here, coming the other way. And I've been practicing this too on this bag. And you can see that's that 150-pound banana bag. I drive it through the wall. And you'll have that power striking this way, right? Straight through. And let's talk about practical self-defense. Pull cue. You don't have a lot of time. You're walking, multiple attackers. From here, you point your thumb to the threat, right? You get that length there between you and the threat. You have this strike, you have this strike, that strike. But you're here, you just have this, create distance. And it's very effective. And if they grab a hold of it, turn. If you haven't practiced this yet, practice with me. This is the pivot point. This hand is like turning here. From here to here. 1, 2. And then if you want to add more power, drop this one a little bit. And then push this one down as you come through. Down here. 1, 2. And that's if they're holding on to the end. What's going to happen is their hands are going to twist like this. And someone asked me, what if they have their hand here and here to the outside of your hands? Twist. Twist. Anytime you turn your hands, you're still in control. And here's the most important part, is that mental part of it, that explosiveness, right? You have to be committed with every strike. That's why, and I've seen this for 30 years, since I've been teaching martial arts. You teach a technique, whether it's Hapkido, Jiu-Jitsu, any of these, like joint locks, pressure points, turns, even strikes. And the person who's doing it, they go home, they're learning, right? The boyfriend, girlfriend, older brother, especially older brother, older sister comes out, you start grabbing on them. Well, what would you do now? What would you do now? Why does it doesn't work, does it? What would you do? What would you do? Some of you have been there, right? And it's because it doesn't work. And then you get frustrated, you come back and you're like, my brother grabbed me, it didn't work. I said, did you kick him in the groin first? And they said, what? I said, remember I said he grabs you by the wrist, kick him in the groin first. Soften him up, distract his focus. Then he's not holding so hard here. And that's not a joke. That's not a joke. That's for real, right? If you come up, or if I teach my kids, some guy grabs you, fight's not over till you win. And that's what happens is everybody kind of goes in easy and they get more frustrated. All techniques, and that's why I don't like techniques for self-defense, I like principles. This principle, straight in the right, as hard and fast as you can. 2 of those and get out of the way, and then hit them again. Basic principles, what are your targets? What are your tools? What are you gonna use to strike, right? What are you gonna destroy or remove? And then that's when technique becomes a little important, but if you focus on techniques, well, you grab him by the wrist, sensei said, or guru, or seafood, I was joking, sifu, or sabomnim, or whatever you wanna call them, he said he grabs you here, and then you do this, and you do that, and you do that. It's like, no, that's too much to think about. Same thing here. You're walking down the street, the guy jumps out, or 2 or 3, they're coming up, and they're screaming and yelling, and they wanna hurt you, right? Or hurt the people you're with. Create distance. Take a deep breath. As you're looking at them, maybe there's 4 of them. You think, what are my targets? His eyes, his throat, his groin, and then you go to work, right? You go all in, and it's a fight, and you're gonna get bruised, and you're gonna get cut, and you're gonna get hurt. You get blood, sweat, and tears because you're moving, probably because you're just moving so fast, you're gonna hurt yourself. But that's what it is. Don't expect it to be easy. Don't look for a magic technique. Think as the most big motions possible. From here, bam, bam, bam. Hard as you can, down over the top, through the guy's face, smash the other guy with that pull cue over here, boom. And then you get to go home safe, your family's safe, and let them lick each other's wounds, or hopefully the cops come and take them away, whatever. You know my point, right? All right, so back to where we were. We were striking here, level 1, knees, face, but I also want you to turn. So your left hand is on your right shoulder, block down, turn, right hand on the left shoulder, block down. This is a clearing block. Turning, you can go hard and fast. Trying to hit you in the knee, block here, block to the front. You wanna practice turning, or learn the kata. It's the link's below. You can go to my website and learn the kata there. I'm not gonna do it this time. From here to here. Honestly, I was just doing it for Vic. I was doing it for you, Vic, so that you learned it. And then he learned it, his form looks really good. From here, then same motion, but to the face. Now that blocking motion, super powerful, is right to the face. It's a horizontal strike, turning in. And see it comes here and then through, and then here and through. And that's level 1. Level 2, back to this split position. 1, 2, and then I want you to step up, turn it into the other hand. 1, 2, other hand. We did that before. 1, 2, and practice this. 1, 2, 1, 2, hard and fast. And then if you want, change to a different strike. 1, 2, spear or ski, and practice that for a while. If you want to, move forward, move back, or again, learn the kata. Either way is fine. But it's just this idea of changing. But you also need to know this. Hand walking. Don't ever take your hands off the staff if you don't have to. But you can walk from one to the next. This could be in your practice. Start here, in this position, defend yourself with a strike, step forward, strike, step forward, strike, strike. See what I'm doing? That's all that is. It just gives you a better feel. So this is one way to change hand position. This is never the way you change hand position. That's what it'll feel like. It'll feel like you're supposed to take your hand off and do that. Some of the turns or whatever. Your hands want to do that. They have like a mind of their own. But discipline your hands. Give them some discipline. From here, practice till you get really good. Hand walking, rolling forward, and then spinning. But watch what my hands do. See how they never really lose contact with each other or the staff? That's what you're going for right there. That move where your hands stay in contact all the time because you want to be able to fight with the staff. And it won't be there right away, and I don't do it every single time. I still drop it, I still mess it up, but that's where I want you to start. 2 things and then we're out. Behind the back and over the head. Behind the back, and I'm gonna have to move the camera. Hold on, don't get nauseous. Just because I was too close, I wanted to show you the strikes. And we're gonna go up a little bit. So from here, when I go behind the back, just grabbing it, pulling it out. 2 ways to grab it. One is palms up, just the way we started our workout, like this. So you can go behind the back, behind the back, behind the back. And the other way is palms facing the opposite direction, cutting over the top. So I go behind the back, or actually, the top becomes the bottom, so I'm cutting over the top, but it's on the bottom. And that doesn't have to make any sense, but watch what my hands do. From here, other hand comes in, and out, and out. And then when you go over your head, you're really just doing this one. And watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna continue to turn as I just lift my hands over my head. And this is just a different plane. This is the plane that cuts my body in half this way, right? It goes over my head. This is the plane that goes this way. So I'm just taking my hands by lifting my arms straight up. Exact same motion. This is my right hand. I keep going to the right, behind the back. The left hand as it comes out. From the shoulder, straight up. That's it. As it's coming up, it continues to turn. I'll squat a little. Behind the back. Over the head. Behind the back. Now, when do you use this for fighting? Only if you are in cast in one of the new, there's like probably 100 coming out in the next 10 years. One of these new Star Wars movies or TV shows on Disney Plus or whatever they're calling it. And you gotta be like Ray Park, the Darth Maul guy, and you have to fight with your double-bladed lightsaber. Then you're gonna use this. Because then you're gonna go like this, and you're gonna do like this, like Ray Park. You get my point, right? This is a cool thing to do. This is not, I'm going to defend myself on the street from a bunch of thugs, punks, who are trying to hurt me with my staff, which creates good distance between me and them. On the street, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But this is fun. Good, it does feel, it's good for your shoulders too, right? You're gonna get healthier shoulders. But you learn spatial awareness. You learn where you are in space and time. That knowledge builds your self-confidence, by the way. You get more self-esteem. Self-esteem is self-knowledge. When you start to do martial arts, there are a million benefits. The number one reason, though, is self-defense, by the way. But not all martial arts are designed for self-defense. They were originally, but then over the years, we've messed them up. But feeling strong and confident because you can do some really cool things, but also things that might improve your fitness level and your ability to practically defend yourself. That's super important too. That's the purpose of the martial arts weapons. Last one, there were two. It was that we call this the helicopter. I just faked it out, turned it around. Behind the back, you can go the other way. Make sure, by the way, you can do everything evenly on both sides. This stuff is supposed to make you more symmetric, more ambidextrous. Last one, finger rolls. And the finger rolls, for me, are all about longevity. The longer I can do this stuff, I want to do this until I'm 140. I want to be 140 years old, right? Spinning my staff and then using it for practical self-defense. And everybody will say, wow, that's so great. Except for you, because you're going to be 140 with me. And you're going to be like, yeah, no, that's not. So that's inevitable. You're just going to stay healthy. But what this does is this works your extensors in your hand. Most of the stuff that we're doing are, now I can't think of it, the muscles that pull everything in, right? So, and if you just work those muscles, it's like doing nothing but push-ups. You never do any pulling motions. You only do pushing motions. Or you only do curls, and you never do tricep extension. You get an imbalance, and then you get an injury. Every imbalance leads to an injury if you do it long enough. Awesome. I don't know if that's good or bad. Is that like a Bruce Lee push-up, or when you were younger, you were able to just fall flat on your face, do a push-up, and pop back up? Remember this, when you're younger, you don't weigh as much. I used to think that all the time. Like when I was a kid and I was playing football as a young man or a tween or whatever, and the coach would have you like run in place and pop and hit the floor, and then you pop back up, and then I get to my age and I'm like, why does that terrify me so much? Why do I think I'm gonna smash my face? But I made myself do it. And I realized, oh, I weigh like 200 pounds less then. Yeah, you just have to work yourself back into it. A year and a half ago, no, maybe a bit longer than that, like 4 years ago, I was swimming at the lake up in Michigan, beautiful lake. And couldn't catch my breath. Started freaking myself out. Like, did I forget how to swim? I've been swimming since I was born. This is working your extensors. This is getting you healthy in here. Stronger hands too. All you're doing is you use first two fingers, second two fingers, third two fingers, and then you work your way back up. So this is a continuous finger roll. Anyway, so I'm swimming. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I can't swim anymore. I get winded, and then I start to sink, and I start to have this fear and panic, like I can't swim, I'm gonna die. I can't reach the bottom. That's never happened to me before. I was in the Marine Corps. We had to swim. And it went on for like 2 years. So what did I do? I stopped swimming, right? No, I found a swimming coach. I found a swimming coach, a triathlete coach, and I started talking to her, and she said, well, show me what you're doing in the pool. And I was swimming, and she said, why are you swimming like that? And I said, what do you mean? She said, you're going as fast and as hard as you can. It's like like if you were running, you'd be sprinting. Of course you're out of breath. You need to calm down. That's what I say all the time, right? Calm down, don't slow down. And I realized that, and sometimes you need that. You need an outside coach. The best people in the world have coaches, right? LeBron James has coaches. Michael Jordan had coaches for every part of his game. Top athletes always have coaches. Get yourself a good coach. But that was what was happening. I didn't forget how to swim, but somehow in my head, it had turned around, and now when I swam, I was going as hard as I can. So I got winded after 30 seconds, and then instead of realizing that I freaked my body out with all that hard effort, I panicked, and it made it even worse. Once she said that, and I started calming down, swim all day. That's all it takes sometimes too. It's usually not. That's why coaches are so important. You don't always see it. All right, so that's a continuous finger roll, but I want you to be able to use it when you do your bow flow or your freestyle. So you're gonna go through the fingers, when you get to the pinky and the ring finger, the first three fingers come together, your thumb is gonna take it. Keep it going. This is called a 3-finger roll. And if you want to, you can say with a thumb support. So it's 3 fingers, and the thumb puts it back into the grip. So it starts in the grip. The first two fingers pop, or the first finger pops open. That puts it between the first and the middle finger. Goes through the 3 like before, and then the first 3 come together. It's almost like a wrist roll over the back of those fingers. And then you continue there. Try the other side. 1, 2, 3. The 3 come together. This is really good for wrist health and finger health. And again, you're extending, you're opening up. It's almost like you're stretching your hands. And so your hands are going this way in order to be able to do it instead of just closing. It's the extension that you need to support all the closing. And that's why I do this. Just like I said with a boxer, like a boxer doesn't go to the fight and they ring the bell and he starts jumping rope, right? He comes out and he's fighting. But when he practices, he jumps rope to get his cardio better. This is the same thing. You're not going to go out, defend yourself, and all of a sudden start doing this, right? Or even do this. But by doing that, that's what you do in practice. Practical self-defense. For the fight, you're just doing the basic stuff, right? And that's true. People make that mistake all the time. Why do you spin? You'd never spin in a fight. You're missing the point. Why does a boxer jump rope? Why does he do push-ups? Why does he do sit-ups? Why do they throw the medicine ball at his stomach over and over? It's the same reason that you're doing spins and rolls and all this cool stuff. All right, so now to finish, go into a wrist roll on each side. This is my left hand. When I'm on the same side, I'm spinning forward. It goes on the thumb side on the opposite, and the pinky side over here. That's wrist roll to wrist roll. But then turn this roll into a 3-finger spin. Wrist roll, 3-finger spin. So now you're learning how to weave them together in the way of freestyle or flow or whatever you want to call it. Same thing over here. And you can do the same thing with that opposite spin, spinning in reverse, and then adding the wrist rolls. And that would mean that the finger roll will now come on the opposite side of the body in reverse. I know that's a bunch of stuff thrown at you all at once, but you guys have been awesome. Please put your questions in the comment section below. Share this if you can, and go to the website. The website has the martial arts curriculum. And if you want the Patreon link, it's down there too. Good. And I'm thankful for you guys being here and interacting with me like this. For me, this is more fun. I taught kids for years and years. The last 25 years, I had a nonprofit martial arts school. I worked with thousands of students, but hundreds on the autism spectrum. I worked in the inner city. I've worked with all kinds of people, but I've worked with tons of kids. I've worked with a lot of adults too, but it was like mission driven. I'm gonna change the world with all that. I'm at the point now where I just get excited when you come and you learn from me like this. I don't care the age, I don't care whatever, because none of that stuff had mattered to me anyway. But this medium, this YouTube stuff, it's awesome for this. And I really appreciate you guys being here. I will see you on the next time. Yeah, let's get the Chinese cudgel next time. We'll start swinging that around.